Bitcoin, of course, is taking a little bit of a break right now after approaching 100K, but realistically, over the last few weeks since the election, it's just been achieving new all-time high after new all-time high. Another very important stat, but one that's often less frequently talked about, is BTC dominance. That right now is at a very healthy 53%. And it's starting to go down a little bit, but realistically, it's still a very robust number, and in all likelihood, we won't truly see the beginning of an explosive altcoin season before Bitcoin dominance moves down quite a bit. But of course, there have been altcoin exceptions in the form of XRP, IOTA, BNB, and TRX. Tron, remember that one? All of these projects have basically seen triple-digit percentage increases over the course of the last month or so. So do these numbers suggest that altcoin season is at least starting to kick off? There is an argument right now that would suggest it kind of has started, at least for certain select projects. And so we're going to keep this one simple. We're going to keep altcoins and the upcoming altcoin bull cycle in mind and highlight two projects in particular that you're not going to want to miss in terms of explosive gains for 2025. Welcome to the channel. My name is Maddie and this is Altcoin Buzz. All the best of luck if you choose to invest, whether it's into the altcoins that we'll be discussing today or elsewhere. I wish you well. Just remember that I'm not a financial or investment advisor, which means that by extension, this video is not official financial or investment advice. Spectacular things are happening with Altcoin Buzz Alpha right now because members are earning huge profits, preventing losses, and improving their overall portfolio performance. Join us as we explore the entire crypto landscape, including the ecosystems of projects like Base, Sui, also the booming DeSci sector, DePIN, AI agents, and of course, many, many more narratives. This is the place to get hot Web3 trends, undervalued crypto gems, buy and sell calls, airdrops, and daily portfolio strategies. In addition, of course, to responses to your questions. Check out the link in the description below and join us today. Let's keep it simple with number one here and consider Ethereum, the altcoin that really, if you think about it, everyone's been ignoring for quite a while now. Chances are that it could be ready to make a pretty massive comeback as it has yet to attain its previous all-time high. That was $4,878. For context, though, let's first try to understand why Ethereum has been underperforming in the first place. Very likely the primary reason, and I'm sure many of you here would agree with me, is the fact that Ethereum is both slow and expensive. Reason number two is that Ethereum's staking makes it more centralized, which in turn decreases the resilience of a blockchain. And reason number three here, despite witnessing a pretty significant milestone in Ethereum's history in terms of the approval of Ethereum ETFs, I think we can all admit that this was disappointing overall. If I say ETH has been underperforming against BTC, for example, that would be an understatement. The truth is that it's been bleeding since September 2022. So with all those negatives in mind, why do we believe that ETH is about to rally upwards, and probably pretty soon? Well, we have a few reasons to support this claim. First of all, Bitcoin dominance is above 53%, and we all know that as soon as this dominance shifts to altcoins, Ethereum is always the first altcoin to benefit most from the shift. And we've started to see this. There has been more attention when it comes to Ethereum. There has been some price appreciation that's slowly but surely starting here. The second reason we're supporting Ethereum right now is the fact that it's about to see a major Pectra upgrade in the first half of 2025. And this is incredibly bullish because if you haven't heard about this before, Pectra is going to enhance ETH's scalability and efficiency, which really solves the first reason in terms of ETH's underperformance that I mentioned a moment ago. And specifically, the Pectra upgrade will increase the staking limits, which may reduce the issue of decentralization, or at least help Ethereum to become more decentralized. In addition, though, Pectra will also set the stage for the Fusaka upgrade, which is going to happen a year later after the Pectra upgrade goes live. And then finally, another reason why Ethereum could very well see a massive price rally is the crypto-friendly US regulations that we keep hearing about that are kind of starting to be worked out behind the scenes. This, of course, is because these crypto-friendly laws, in all likelihood, will attract retail investors to stablecoin and DeFi projects. And as you're probably aware, Ethereum is home to most of the leading stablecoins and DeFi projects in terms of TVL, total value locked. This is not a revolutionary suggestion here. We often say that in addition to your favorite altcoins, you certainly ought to be holding Bitcoin and Ethereum. And so there's really no reason why you should miss out on ETH and its future gains, because all these reasons that we've highlighted here would suggest that ETH is at least starting to set the stage for a long and massive price rally. By the way, if you plan to invest in ETH, check out our CoinX affiliate link in the description below. This Altcoin Buzz Spotlight video is sponsored by Rootstock. Did you know that the oldest and one of the biggest Bitcoin Layer 2 networks is making some major moves? I'm talking about Rootstock and the Rootstock Collective. The Collective is launching its first DAO on Rootstock. Now it can go fully decentralized and community-based. Let's take a look at the Rootstock Collective, the first DAO to launch on Rootstock. Rootstock started in 2018, making it the oldest Bitcoin Layer 2 network. And just last month, the Rootstock Collective DAO launched. The team is celebrating with a huge event on Galaxy that includes 3 different quests. All the quests use the same RIF token that projects use to build dApps with Rootstock's tools. The Galaxy quests go from now until December 18th, and you can win your part of $17,000 in prizes. Check out the link in the description below and try Rootstock Collective's quests on Galaxy today for your chance to win some of that $17,000 prize pool. For coin number 2 here, and this may come as a surprise to some, we're talking about none other than the king of interoperability, Polkadot, ticker DOT, which, wow, look at this, is up 15% on the day as I record. 2025 is going to be a big year for Polkadot in all likelihood. I know that it's fallen out of the spotlight lately, kind of fallen out of favor. But again, 2025 is expected to be big. And I'm going to speak to that in a moment. But first, let's take a look at DOT's price action. It's up about 100% or so if we zoom out and take a look at the last year, with admittedly a lot of recent activity pumping up that statistic. But as you can see here, we went from just below $6 to about $11 where we currently are. So not too bad. That being said, though, we're still down 80% from DOT's all-time high of just below $55. So I think it's fair to say by any measure, the price has taken a beating, and it's been relatively flat here in recent months and years. But in cryptocurrency, that's almost a positive, because if you consider this, let's call it unimpressive price action, and then combine that with the big Polkadot news, DOT all of a sudden has the characteristic of being an undervalued altcoin that can pump really hard as soon as the real altcoin season hits. And the big news is significant because by January or February 2025, in just a couple of months, Polkadot will enhance its operability and scalability with Polkadot 2.0. And look, in a lot of ways, Polkadot has been suffering in many of the same ways that Ethereum has been. Polkadot current security and operational framework for parachains relies on a leasing model, and parachains need to secure slots through competitive auctions, and they have to commit substantial amounts of DOT as collateral for up to 2 years. Now, while this model ensures security and operational continuity, it does present significant barriers to entry for the smaller projects out there, and let's be honest, often leads to suboptimal resource utilization, like resource wastage during low activity periods by producing underutilized blocks, and then causes congestion during peak times by limiting transaction processing capacity. And the result of all of that is that Polkadot's ecosystem has attracted many fewer projects recently. That may change, however, because with Polkadot 2.0, the focus is about to shift away from a chain-focused approach, and now it's going to focus much more on an application-focused approach. And in theory, and hopefully in practice, this should attract more projects to its ecosystem. And this is all because the Polkadot 2.0 enhancements are going to enable Polkadot to function kind of similarly to, if you think of Amazon Web Services, AWS, or Azure, making it a breeding ground for high-demand projects that desire, and in fact need, speed and interoperability. If we try to correlate this to the past performance of DOT, you can see here that in June 2021, the first parachain auction slot was opened. And if you study the Polkadot price chart here, within 3 months, DOT rallied to a new all-time high of, like I said, just below $55. And so history doesn't necessarily repeat, but it often does rhyme. I hope you'll pardon the cliche. And so here I'd argue that chances are actually pretty high that the same thing could happen after Polkadot 2.0 goes live, again, early next year. Don't wait too long.